Okay, Algebra 1, Video 2, review. All right, so this is the parent function for this graph. So this is the original. If you write x squared, it's going to look like this. It's going to go through here, okay? Now, when you change it by putting -4 here on the outside of the x squared, it's going to make it go down 4 units. The +4 would make it go up 4 units. Now the -4 inside of the exponent here, okay, so it's not on the right of it, it's part of this part being squared. That means it's going to go to the right 4. See how it's a -4 here? Here it's going to go to the left 4. If you're multiplying this by something larger than 1, it's going to go up faster, which makes it skinnier. So it's going to go up faster. Okay, for this one, if you multiply by something that's less than 1, that's going to make it wider. It's going to make it wider. It's going to make it go up slower. Now the negative is going to inverse the function. So instead of doing a U, it's going to make an N shape. And then it follows all these rules from before. Okay, so if there's multiple things happening, you have to make sure you understand which ones are which. Okay? Now let's do this part here. Okay, so when you're adding and subtracting things like this, okay, if they have the same thing in the radical, you can just add up the numbers as if these were 5x plus 7x minus 6x. So 5x plus 7x would be 12, and 12 minus 6 is 6. So the answer for this is 6 square root of 2. So you can just combine them. When they have the same exact number in the radical, you can just combine like terms. Now we're going to simplify square root of 72. I'm going to do it over here, actually. Square root of 72. So what two numbers multiply to make 72? 8 times 9, right? 8 can be split without using 1, and so can 9. This can be 2, 4, and this one can be 3, 3. These can no longer be split into multiples of 3 without using 1, so I have to stop. The 2 as well. I can still split the 4 without using a 1. 2 times 2 also makes a 4. So 8 times 9 makes 72. I don't circle them because I can't split them yet. Once I have everything circled, I write everything in order. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. So every pair comes out of the square root. So a 2 and a 3. So 2 and a 3. And then a 2 stays inside. So anything that comes outside and everything that stays inside multiplies. So 2 and 3 are outside, so that's going to make a 6 and a 2, which is weird because that's the answer we just got over there. Now we are going to do 3 square root of 2 times 2 square root of 6. So the 3 and the 2 are going to multiply, and the square roots are going to multiply, or the radicals, and it's going to make 12. But just in case, you have to check if the 12 has something that can jump out of the box. So square root of 12, so 6 outside. This is going to become 2 and 6. So 2 I can't shrink anymore. And then 6 comes into 2, 3. And then we're done. So I have a pair of 2s. So a 2 can come out. So now I have a 6 outside and a 2 outside. And there's just a 3 left inside. So if there were multiple numbers inside, I'd multiply them at the end. But right now there's only 1. So now I have the answer for this is 12 square root of 3 is my final answer. Now we are going to multiply. Now we're going to be solving this right here. Let's see if I can move this around so that we have enough space. Okay, here we go. So here, you can't add fractions unless they have the common denominator. So we're going to make them have the common denominator. We're going to multiply these two. So the common denominator here is going to be y squared plus y, because it's going to be multiplied. So that's going to be the denominator plus the denominator over here is the same thing, plus y. And then over here on the top, 4 has to be multiplied by y plus 1. So these two are going to multiply, these two are going to multiply, and then these two are going to multiply. Okay? So now this is going to be 4y plus 4, and then this is going to be 5y squared equals 5. Now we're going to combine like terms, and we're going to be left with 5y squared plus 4y plus 4 divided by y squared plus y equals 5. Right? Now, how do we solve things like this? We cross multiply, so we're going to be left with 5y squared plus 4y plus 4 divided by, well, that's equal to 5y squared plus 5y. Now, what we're going to do to solve this is leave this side by itself. So we're going to subtract 5y squared on both sides, and we're going to be left with no 5y squared. They're going to cancel each other. And then I'm going to subtract 5y to both sides. So now I'm left with, actually, I'm going to subtract the 4y from this side. And we're going to be left with y by itself and 4. Y equals 4. Done. Okay, if you don't understand what I did subtract 4y minus 4y. I'm left with just a y. And here on this side, I'm left with just a 4. So y equals 4, which is fully acceptable in the solution set. So it's 4 goes here and a 4 plus 1 goes here. The denominator is not 0. We're totally good with that. The denominator of a fraction can never be 0. All right, so let's solve for this. The bottom is already the same, so I just add the top. 2n plus 4n, that makes 6n. 6n minus 30 divided by n minus 5 equals 5. Cross multiply, this is going to be, this cross multiply is going to leave me with 6n minus 30. This cross multiply is going to leave me with 5n minus 25. All right, looks like a multi-step equation. I'm going to subtract 5n from both sides. I'm going to be left with n minus 30 equals negative 25. I'm going to add 30 to both sides. N equals 5. Now, the thing with n equals 5, it's not, even though it is the answer to this problem, is not part of the solution set. Because if I put 5 in this problem, the denominator is going to be 0, which is not allowed. Okay? Now we're going to be working on this, which that was called an extraneous solution. Okay, it is a solution, but it's not one of those solutions you're allowed to use. So now we're going to be solving this 3x plus 5 squared, which is really just 3x plus 5 times 3x plus 5. So it's going to be 9x squared plus 15x plus 15x plus 25. And then the middle is going to combine. It's going to be 9x squared plus 30x plus 25. And that's your final result. Now, a very quick way of doing it is squaring the front, squaring the back, and that ends up to be these two. And then multiply these two, and then double it, and that'll be your center number. Now here, what's cool about here, if everything's the same, except for the middle, okay? That means that the center is going to vanish because it's going to cancel each other out. You'll see right now. So it's going to be 4x to the 4th, and then 6x squared, negative actually, and then positive 6x squared, so it's going to cancel, and then negative 9. So we're left with 4x to the 4th minus 9. So it squares the front one, and then squares the back one, and it ends up to be negative when this occurs. But the middle vanishes because it cancels itself out. All right, now we're doing, here we go. Let's see, find out little spaces. So what happens when you're doing mean, median, mode, and range, and standard deviation of the data? Okay? After you add 7 to each number. Now, you can just find the mean, median, mode, and range like normal, okay? And then, after you're done, you can just add 7 to the ones that are going to be affected. Now, you can also add 7 to everything and then do mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation. So that'll be the same. What I'm going to do now is mean, median, mode, range of the data in front of me. Okay? So the median, let's find that first because it's already in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means it's going to be 2 numbers in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one. So 8's going to be in the middle. So 8 is the median. So the median is 8. Because 8 plus 8 divided by 2 is still 8. And then the mode is also going to be 8. Mode is also going to be 8. And the range is 4 and 14, so the range is 10, because I subtract those two numbers. So we got median done, mode done, range done. We're going to do mean now, which we need for standard deviation, so we got to find it anyway. So we're going to add up all these numbers, it's going to be 9, 14, 21, 29, 37, 45, 56, 68, 81, 94, 108. 108. Divided by 12. So 108 divided by 12 is actually 9. Right? 9 times this is 18. And that'll make 10. Yep, that's perfect. So that'll make 9. So the mean is 9. Now, to do the standard deviation, you have to find out how far everything is from the mean. Okay? And then square it. Okay, we're going to find out how far everything is from the mean and then square it. So we're going to come out with a whole new group of numbers. So 9, how far is 4 from 9? That's going to be 5, so that's going to make 25. Okay? And we're going to do that for every single number. So the next number is going to be 16, 16, 4, 1, 1, 1. That's going to be 4. That's going to be 9. Wait, the 4 is the 2. 3 is 9. Then it's going to be 4. That'll make 16, 16, and then 25. So now we're going to add all these up and find the mean of this. So that's going to be, I have 2 25s. That makes 50. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 16s. It's going to be 40 plus 24. That's 64. So that's all the 16s. I have 1 9. I have 2 4s. That's an 8. And I have a 3 here. So then I'll be able to add it up pretty quickly here. So this will make 24. And then I'll make 11 13. So 134 divided by 12. Okay, 134 divided by 12 gives us 11.17. And then we're going to square root that. Doing it over here on the calculator here. It's going to give us 3.34. So 3.34 is our standard deviation. So leave it at 3.3. Okay, so this is our information here. Okay, now what would happen if I added 7 to every single number? It would affect the median, it would affect the mode, and it would affect the mean. It would not affect the range or the standard deviation. So I'm done after this. What would be the mean if I added 7 to every single number? It would be 15. What would happen to the mode? It would be 15. What would happen to the range? It would still be 10. What would happen to the mean? It would be 16. What would happen to the standard deviation? It would still be 3.3. Okay? Now, if you multiply, if it says multiply something by 3, then it would affect every single one. So you can find the mean, median, mode, and range, and then just multiply every single answer by 3, and that will be your answer. Okay? Now let's go here. How do you graph y equals 3 over 4 x minus 2? You start on negative 2, and then the slope is 3 over 4. So from the dot you just made, you go up 3 and over 4. Okay? End up right there. And then you graph those together, and you're done. Then this one here. Now there's 2 ways to do it. You can make it into slope-intercept form, or you can find I can see that 3 and 2 perfectly divide into 6, so you can find the intercepts. Okay? The x-intercept, how do you find the x-intercept? By making y 0. If this is 0, it's just going to be 3x equals 6. So divide, so x equals 2. That's the x-intercept. So it's going to go through here. Now I'm going to find the y-intercept by making x 0. So if that's 0, it's going to be 2y equals 6. Divide by 2, y equals 3. So then this is where it goes through right here, and that would be that one graphed. Now if something says y equals negative 3, that means that the line is going through y negative 3. So y negative 3 is here. So this line is going through y negative 3. And that's it. Very simple. Now it's like some kind of alarm going off outside. Hopefully you're not picking that up in the sound. Okay, then shifting over here to this. All right, So write it in radical form. So writing this in radical form will be square root of 25. It's the same thing as this. 64 would be 64 squared with a radical 3 here. Now you can do any of the two things first. You can do the radical or the exponent. I know that what the radical of 64 is. It's 4. 4 times 4 times 4 makes 64. So then now I'm left with just 4 squared, which would be 16. So the final result would be 16. I did the radical of 64, and then I had to do the exponent. If you would do 64 times 64, and then do the cube root of that, it would be 16. Here's this one. How would we solve this one? We know that they're multiplying by 6 over and over and over again, but how many times does it take to get to 216? 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is going to be 180 plus 36, which would give me 216. So the answer for x is 3. You just have to keep on multiplying until you get it. Here, I know that the square root, which is 1/2, 25 to the 1/2, which is the same thing as 25 square root, is 5. Which means this x minus 1 up here, the exponent x minus 1, has to equal 1/2. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and x equals 1 and 1/2. And there's my solution for x. What does x have to be? 1 and 1/2. Okay? All right, now we're on proportions. What's the probability? Now the marble is being grabbed and then replaced. So what is the probability of pulling a black marble and then a yellow marble? So there's one black marble, so 1 out of how much? Out of 3, 6, 10. So out of 10. Okay? So 1 out of 10 chance to pull a black marble. Now what are the chances of pulling a yellow marble? Now I put the black marble in, so it's 3 out of 10 to pull a yellow marble. Now what are the chances of the probability of pulling a black, then pulling a yellow? So they multiply. 1, 10 times 3 tenths. So that's going to be 3 100ths. Okay, so 0.03 chance of pulling a yellow. Black and then a yellow. In that order. Okay? Now for the deck of cards, we're dealing with the chances of pulling a diamond and then a spade and then a diamond. Okay? You should know how many cards there are of each. There are 13 of each. So diamond. So chances of getting a diamond is 13 out of 52. Then the chances of getting a spade, because I'm taking the diamond out, there is still 13 spades, but there is only 51 cards left. Now with the diamond, what are the chances of pulling a diamond after that? It's going to be 12 because there's only 12 diamonds left out of 50. Okay, you could simplify some of these. This is 1/4. This is not going to be simplified. And then this one could be 6 over 25. Okay, so now the chances are this times this times this. Okay, so on the top, it'll be 1 times 13. That's 13. 13 times 6, that's going to be 60 plus 18. So it's going to be 78. This is going to be 4 times 25. That's 100 times 51. That's going to be 5,100. And then your result will be here. So these are the chances of pulling a diamond, a spade, and then a diamond in a deck of cards without replacing any. Now, same thing as the other graph. This is the parent function, okay? Now, if you add something to the outside, it's going to make it go up. If you subtract something on the outside, it's going to make it go down. If you put a +1 inside of the radical, it's going to make it go to the left. If you put a minus, it's going to make it go to the right. If you put a minus sign, it's going to invert it and flip it over the x. And it's going to make it look like that. Then, here, a 2 would make it go up faster. So it would go up faster, okay? If I put a negative sign, it would go down faster, which will make it wider almost. And that's it. Those are all of the sections. Wait, never mind. There's another one. Okay. So if this is the formula they gave you, an, any number in the sequence, is 3an minus 1 minus 12, okay? And an equals 7. What are the first 5 terms? Okay, so the first term is 7. So a1 is 7. A2 is us putting 2 in all these spots, right? So it's going to be the answer for 2, well, I already wrote that. Answer for 2 equals 3, the answer for 2 minus 1, which is 1, so it's 1 behind it, minus 12. Okay? So 3 times 7 because 7 was the previous answer, minus 12. So it's going to be 21 minus 12. And that's going to give us 9. Okay, so now that is the answer for answer 2. Okay, answer 2 equals 9. Answer 3 is now going to be placing the previous answer here. So this is going to be the previous answer every single time. Anytime you see something like this, it's the previous answer. Okay, so now it's going to be 3 times 9 minus 12. So 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 12, it's going to be minus 2. That's going to be 25 minus 10, so it's going to be 15. So the answer for this one is 15. Answer 4 is going to be using answer 3. So 3 times 15 minus 12. So that's going to be 45 minus 12. 45 minus 12 is going to be 35, 33. So this one equals 33. Answer 5, last one, we're going to be 3 times the previous answer, which is 33, minus 12. That's going to be 99 minus 12. It's going to be 89, 87. So this is 87. So those are the first 5 terms. What if they gave me the terms and they wanted you to write the recursive? So you're using the previous one. So I can notice here that it starts on 17 and it's going down by 4 every single time. So this is going to be easy. So we write A1 equals 17. So you got to know where it starts. And then, knowing where it starts from, we can write this other thing here, which is going to be AN. The answer for any number in this sequence is going to be the answer from before minus 4. And that'll be it. The whole entire recursive formula. The answer from, what are you doing to the answer from before to get the answer? And that's it.